Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for us to get started today, and we're just going to hop right in because we are going to be talking about and discussing the 4 steps that you need to take to upgrade your life before 2026. I know 2026 is literally around the corner, and with that being said, there are so many people who make New Year's resolutions, right? And by the second week of February, they're done. New Year's resolution is in the trash, nowhere in sight. And it's because they didn't do the prep work that is needed before January 1st for them to actually go into 2026 being able to just completely accomplish what it is that they want. We are running many different platforms right now, but wherever you are, make sure that you drop your questions around mindset, around pivoting, around manifestation, and I'm going to get to them at the end of going over the 4 steps that you need to take to upgrade your life before 2026. This is very exciting. I have a whole PowerPoint presentation and everything for you all because I am, I want you all to win, right? This is literally about you winning. And so without taking another moment, we're just going to get into it. There it goes. Y'all know what it is. Okay, so we are in here. 4 steps to upgrading your life before 2026. Like I said, 2026 is around the corner, and there is an opportunity, right, for you to in 2026 with results instead of excuses. There is an opportunity for you to have a year that is built with intention, that is built on purpose, where you look back at the end of 2026 and you are so excited and most importantly, proud of the work that you have put in for you to become a better version of yourself, whatever that may look like for you. And so, like I said, the way that it's going to work today is I'm going to go over the 4 steps. Then we're going to have a quick Q&A, and then I'm going to give you information on how to take the road of ease as you step into 2026. So, who is this for today? This is for the people who are ambitious, right? Ambitious, who are driven, who are high performance, who are high achievers, who understand that they want to live their life to the fullest. I like to say that we are in what I call the infinite age. For such a long time, right? We were in a singular age. This is where you chose one career path or one, right, life path, and that's the life path that you had to stay on. Now we are exercising our birthright of having infinite choice. You have people who have day jobs as a nurse and have a side hustle or a side job as a performer or as a model. It can be done. You have people who have gone from being in the NFL to becoming doctors. You have people who have gone from being in the NFL to literally being on the sidelines taking photos. There is an opportunity for you to know that you don't have to live this one singular path. And so if you're someone who is ambitious, whether that is, oh, I want to climb the corporate ladder, right? Whether that is something for you or you're like, I want to do it all. Or maybe some person where you're like, I don't want to do it all. The point is, we're in the infinite age where you have the opportunity to exercise what I love to call choice, right? You have the freedom, you have the ability to exercise whatever it is that you want to. And so, with that being said, if you're ambitious, if you're driven, if you are driven by purpose, then you are in the right room because at the end of this, it's literally just about you being able to be a better version of yourself. And I'm a firm believer that when we are a better version of ourselves, our community, our family, our friends, our coworkers, our team, strangers, right? They benefit from us just being able to be a better version of ourselves. And so, in this next hour, we are going to be going over the 4 steps that you need to take to upgrade your life before 2026. You are going to be given the action steps that you need to take so that you are actually able to hit the ground running when January 1st happens. The first week or sometime in January. It depends on travel schedules, right? But I'll be actually doing a class on how to use your subconscious when you are writing out your goals. So this is all prep work before of you just really centering yourself and getting clear, right? This is about clarity, this is about vision, so that when January 1st hits, you are able to be in a phase where you are taking action. It is all about action in 2026. These next few months, or really less than that, these next few days is going to be all about getting clear on your vision and getting clear on your intention. And so, what is our promise to you, right? Our promise to you at Soul 360, and what I'm speaking on today with you all is that you'll be able to walk away with action steps. You'll be able to walk away with questions that you need to answer. You'll be able to walk away with more clarity about what is it that I need to do so that on January 1st, I am ready to show up as the person that I need to be to accomplish the goals that I have set out in 2026. That is what we will be doing. That's my promise for you today is to leave with action steps. So many times, right? People get on these master classes, they get on, they get the courses, they get all this information, they listen to the lives, and then they're left with not knowing what to do next. And I absolutely don't like it. I wasn't a fan when I'm on the other side of the screen. So the action steps are literally throughout this whole entire presentation, and we'll be going over them as we are together today. And so, as I make my promise to you, I want you to make a promise to yourself. There are so many distractions in the world. We'll get a little bit deeper into that right now. But one of the smallest distraction, right, that just so happens to be that's in your pocket, it can go anywhere with you, is your cellular device, right? And so, during this time that we are together, take this opportunity to honor yourself, to show up for yourself, because change happens when you decide it to. Change will happen when you decide for it to happen. And so let go of the distraction. Put put the computer, put the phone on do not disturb, and just lock in for the next hour. Because if you choose to lock in, when you decide to lock in, it's showing that you are ready to show up and have a transformational 2026. And it starts right now. Anybody who is saying that their 2026 starts in 2026, they're not ready because there's prep work that needs to happen. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So go ahead, put the phones, drop thumbs up in the chat if you're just going to set the phone to the side. I know some of you all are probably watching on your phone. So just put it on do not disturb so that you are able to be present, right, for the next hour. And so how many days do we have left until January 1st, 2026? We have 50 days. That is what is left on the dock. I will be doing this masterclass over and over and over again. I want so many people to understand that there is prep work needed before you jump in saying that you want to accomplish goals. And that prep work is all about you doing the work within yourself so that that internal reality can then match that external reality that you are looking for. And so there are 50 days left. That is more than enough time for you to have the transformation that you need to have. That is enough time for you to close the gap between who you are right now and who you are being called to be. Now, the pace at which that gap closes depends on the tools and methods that you use that we'll talk about a little bit later. But just know that there is time. And time being one of our most precious resources, one of our finite resources, we definitely should not take it for granted. But I'm here to tell you that there is time. There's 50 days. And so it's going to take discipline. It's going to take awareness. And most importantly, it's going to take you locking in and letting go of the distractions. And so, is this you, right? You may be feeling stuck in directionlessness about where you are headed. You're in the desert right now. And let me tell you, you're not alone. There are people who are also in the desert. You have built a life that you once wanted, but no longer aligns with who you are becoming. It may look great on paper, but you know within yourself that this life that you're living right now isn't a reflection of where you're being called to be. And that's okay. And are you tired? And have you tried other strategies and master classes, but you're not seeing the results? Like you're not afraid of hard work, but for some reason, the strategies that you've done, the master classes, the books that you've read, it doesn't seem to be clicking. And that's true too for many people. And so I'm going to tell you all what the real problem is. The real problem is that you have way too many distractions. And so it's time for you to take ownership of your life. It's time for you to take ownership of your decisions. It's time for you to take ownership around intentionally building the life that you want to build. And so the real problem is that you have been working on the surface level. And it's now time for you to get deeper because the solution is not at the tip of the iceberg. The solution is much deeper. And instead of working just consciously to attempt to change your life and to change yourself, you need to be tapping into your subconscious. Because that subconscious programming is literally impacting the way that you show up. That subconscious programming is impacting what it is that you can achieve and what you won't achieve. It's impacting what you believe you can achieve and what you believe you can't achieve. And so there is an opportunity for you to completely own your life. There is an opportunity for you to be the hero in your own story. And so if you don't like the direction that things are going in, you can change it because you have the power to. And I know and I understand that there is a lot going on in the world between politics and systems and government shutdowns and everything else that's going on a macro and micro level within your own life. And I am still saying to you that there is a lane that you were supposed to be in. And every time that you swerve out of your own lane or you pay attention to someone else or you're paying attention and focusing on the issues that you are not the solution to, then you will continue to be in a space where you are not able to truly move forward because you aren't owning your own lane. There is someone out there that needs you. You are the solution to a problem. And it's not up to you to tackle every problem. It's not up to you, right? It doesn't serve you to sit and complain. You need to be doing, and you have the power to do so. Others win when you believe that you are no longer in control of your own life. Others win when you give up your power to control and be responsible for your emotions and your actions. Others win when you allow others to be owning the thoughts that you are thinking and where you put your focus. And I believe that this is the best time, right? Because it is such a critical moment for you to be in ownership, in self-leadership, and really being mindful and intentional about the way you spend your time and what you focus on. It's okay to rant here and there just to get it out of your system. But complaining is not going to get you anywhere except in this same cycle of complaining. And then nothing's going to change. It's going to just remain the same. And that's not what we're in the business of doing. So for those who don't know me, I'm Imani Adia. I'm the founder of Soul 360. It's a personal development company. I'm also a master mindset coach. I'm the creator of Beyond the Roots. I am the Beyonce. And for those that know, you know, and my mission, right, is to empower leaders, visionaries, and creators to lead a life that they love from the inside out. I am a firm believer that When you are in internal alignment, you will see that same alignment externally. So many times we try to change things in the external when the real thing that needs to change is yourself. It literally starts with you. And so that is where we are going to begin, of course, today. So this is a lot of you, right? You have to-do lists longer than this list that this man has right here. You are being pulled in different directions, whether that means that you are a leader within your team, or you're a leader within your family, or you're a leader within your community, or you're the leader within your friend group. There's a lot on your plate, and you go throughout the day, right? Literally dealing with these different to-do lists. It's this never-ending to-do list that you literally have open within your mind. Your mind is a browser with 1,000 tabs open. And with all of that running, there is no space for you to be able to think clearly. It is a lot for anybody. And so when you are being pulled on social media, when you're being pulled in your family, when you are being pulled at your job or in your business, because I recognize that some of you all are absolute bosses that have founded and are continuing to show up within your business. So whatever that may look like for you, there needs to be an opportunity for you to close the to-do list, which is going to get us into step one, which is you need to get still. There is power in being with yourself. There is power in the silence. There are answers in the stillness. I know that we live in a very busy world, and it just gets busier as we are able to be more productive, as we are able to get answers quicker in terms of getting work done with AI. Granted, AI cannot think for you. AI cannot tell you your life purpose. And so for you to really move forward before 2026, you need to get still. There needs to be an opportunity where you are sitting with yourself and you are not surrounded by the distractions of your cell phone, of your job, of the team pings, of your family needing you, the little kids wanting this and that. And I understand there's a lot going on. And I'm going to take it back to if you're not good, how can you be good for anyone else? And so there is a real call, right, for you to be still with yourself. And I know that it can be uncomfortable because it's not something that you do often. It's not something that you practice, but it needs to become part of your practice. Because when you are able to get still, that's when you are able to get the answers and really gain clarity about what it is that you want. And so I love to say, right, and these are the action steps that you would take, is really blocking out time on your calendar for reflection. And as I speak about reflection, I also will put meditation in there. So there's an opportunity for you to meditate and then also to reflect. I know that a lot of people aren't familiar with meditation, and there's a lot of different ideas and misconceptions around what does it mean to meditate. Yes, I understand that you got 1,000 tabs open. And so you are going to take a deep breath and you are going to close them. It doesn't mean that you won't have thoughts. Thoughts will come up, and you just allow the thought to come up and the thought to go. I will deal with that later. It's all you have to tell your mind. People do not understand how amazing our mind and body is and how it's literally here to serve us. It's so helpful. And so, right, we've been giving this supercomputer, which I'm talking about, our mind, that a lot of people just don't understand the manual for it. But I'm here telling you that when you take a moment to just tell your mind, we'll get back to that, it will listen. And so meditating, research has shown for 12 minutes can do wonders for you in terms of improving your focus, in terms of allowing you to just have more clarity, And all of those things are just plus signs, right, on why you should be meditating. And so there's an opportunity for you to meditate and then reflect, removing the distractions and sitting in the uncomfort, right? And so when you are reflecting, I love to tell people that there's an opportunity for you to journal or for you to vlog. Vlogging has become something that you share with the world, but you do not have to, right? Vlogging literally stands for video log. I sometimes love to journal and I love to write, and there's other times where I am completely exhausted and there is no pen hitting the paper. And so there's an opportunity for you to literally just turn on the video, for you just to talk out loud and to get out your thoughts. And of course, it's better when you are able to actually work with intentional questions. So some questions that you can journal or vlog on can be, what do I want? And you asking yourself that for yourself and not for anyone else. We're going to get into it a little bit down the line in other steps, but not only are we pulled in different directions, we are also being pulled in different directions of approval and living lives that we didn't necessarily choose. And we're going to get deeper into that, but I want to just put that on the table kind of um as a prep, right? As we get into these other steps that you need to take. And then another question that I love for people to answer, and I even love for myself to continue to do, is who am I being called to be? Who am I being called to be in this moment? And this is where life crisis comes in. Because for a lot of people, they're just living their life day in and day out. They're on autopilot and they're on this loop. Autopilot is great when it's working in your favor. Autopilot is absolutely amazing when your subconscious programming aligns with the desires that you have on your heart. It becomes tricky, right? It becomes a little sticky when you are in this cycle of your life that you actually don't want to live. And it's because you don't intentionally take time to just be still with yourself. And so you are going and going and going day in and day out, showing up, going to work, making the dinner, watching the TV, doom scrolling, and you do it over and over and over again until one day you sit and you're uneasy, and it's because you stopped asking yourself what it is that you want. Because somewhere down the line, it became something that was on the back burner for you. But what you want and your desires and what you need is absolutely essential for you to be able to show up as the best version of yourself. And it's something that I continue to say because if you don't take anything away from this, it literally starts with you. It literally starts with you. And so being able to make sure that you are putting yourself and your needs and your wants first is important because that will be a guide in you then being able to show up as a better version of yourself, and especially as the version of yourself that the people in your life deserve to have. And so now we're going to get into step two. Step two is all about choosing your growth. You're going to take it one step at a time. So many people, right? The saying is, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I need to find another thing to say because I just think that's so wacky. Like, whoever came up with that, what in the world? And I say it all the time, right, during my lives, but it really is so wacky to me. And as you take one step at a time, it's to know that you cannot do it all at once. There are steps that need to be taken. And so when you are choosing your growth, you need to be looking at your growth holistically, right? Looking at your life in totality. I know that we have grown up in programming and being conditioned to think about work-life balance. My beef with work-life balance is that I absolutely am a person that is very intentional about my language, and I and work-life balance is very sloppy language. Why? Our brains naturally, right, like to put things in order of importance. So when you say work-life balance, you are saying that work comes before life. I instead like to say life work. And instead of balance, I like to use the word flow. The reason why I don't use the word balance is because when we think of the word balance, we think of scales. We always want the scale to be 50-50. But the truth is, I'm not looking to give 50% in my life and 50% in my work. Instead, I want to give 100%. That is the goal. I'm giving 100% and I'm being present wherever I am. If I am sitting down and having dinner with my family, then I am sitting down having dinner with my family. If I'm on a trip with my girls that we have literally planned, especially because we don't see each other often, people are living their lives and are all across the world, then I am there present on the girls' trip. If I am leading a meeting with my team, then I am there present leading the meeting with my team. If I am in my morning routine with myself, doing the things that I need to do in the morning, then I am there, present, showing up for myself. It's not about balance, it's about flow. And it's about being present and wherever you are in the moment so that people get what it is that they deserve. My family deserves the best of me. My friends deserve the best of me. My team, my coworkers, my clients, they deserve the best of me. I deserve the best of me. And so I want you to think about your life in different areas, right? We're thinking about life workflow. And the reason why I still put work even beside it is because we spend a lot of time at work. You spend so much time at work. You spend 90,000 plus hours over your lifetime at work. So it is very important. I think as I said, we've entered this infinite age. I'm curious to see how the numbers will change over time. But for now, we spend a lot of time at work and in our careers, and that's something that we definitely do have to call out. But that isn't the totality of your life. There's still life happening. And so the different areas of life that I have, and you may have more, but I'm just going to call out these ones and then you can change it and fix it to you, right? And what is best for you. So we have personal development, we have career, we have your joy and your hobbies, we have finances, we have relationships, which includes romantic relationships as well. And then you also have your health and your fitness. And so this is the wheel of life, right? You have these different areas. And each area deserves your attention and it deserves to be in a place where it is has a strong foundation. And so the action step for that is I have one main question that I ask people when you are choosing where is the area that you want to grow in, because you're not going to change your whole entire life overnight. And also, you may already have a strong foundation in these different other areas. There are some people out there who are doing an amazing job, right? An amazing job, sweetie, in their career. They're absolutely killing it. And as they are really showing up in their career, there is an opportunity, right, for them to grow in their health and their fitness. And them being able to look at their life in totality and seeing where they can improve in their health and taking time to really put their health right in front of them, especially because health is literally wealth and health is the basis of everything. If you don't have health, what you doing? And so that question that you are going to ask yourself is, what is the one area of my life that if I were to improve, other areas of my life would improve too? I want you to think about if you are doing absolutely killing it in your career, that's your focus right now, and that is absolutely valid. You have your relationships, you still make time for them. Of course, you may be giving more time to your career, but that's just where you are right now in that moment of life, and that's okay. And you say to yourself, there's an opportunity for me to improve in my health and my fitness journey. Absolutely amazing. And what happens, right, is if you decide to improve in your health and your fitness, you are then possibly able to have more energy for your career. You may have the opportunity to not only just have more energy, but also to be more present, to feel stronger, to feel better about yourself in all aspects of your life because you decided to focus on your health. And so being able to choose that growth is absolutely important. And then after you choose that growth, you're going to choose a goal. Keyword here is a goal. So many times, right, people go in and they want to do a million and one things. When you start with just one step, you start with one thing that you can then build on that once you accomplish it. And so after you choose your goal, you then are going to check your alignment. And we're going to talk about this in step three, which is coming up next right now. So, step number three is about checking your mindset. You are going to align with your mind. And so, as I talk about mindset, I'm talking about the established set of attitudes, beliefs, and feelings that influence the way that you understand and also respond to the world. Your mindset also coincides with your subconscious programming. And so, your subconscious programming is this programming that you have that is working at the subconscious level, that is working on autopilot. And so our mind is two, right? You have your conscious mind and you have your subconscious mind. I love to call our conscious mind our goal setter. It's where you are literally present and you are aware and you are making a conscious decision, right, to do whatever it is that you are doing. I want you to think about the first time that you started driving, right? First time driver, what do? They think about every little thing. Oh, let me put on my seatbelt, especially putting the car in reverse. Let me put on the brake. Let me put the car in reverse. Let me back up and turn the wheel and check the mirrors and all that good thing. And then I am going to put my foot back on the brake and I'm going to then put the car in drive and then I'm going to continue to drive. And maybe I'll check my mirrors just one more time to make sure before I do that. That's your conscious, thinking about every little thing. While your subconscious mind, you're a pro at driving. You're not thinking twice about whether you need to put on the seatbelt, check the mirrors. You do all of that, it seems to be at once. Our subconscious mind is absolutely amazing. I call it our goal getter because it influences 95% of our actions. I want you to think about what it is that you do throughout the day. How you wake up in the morning, how you wash your face and you brush your teeth and you don't even think twice about where the toothpaste is because you already know and you're just doing things on autopilot. You're doing things subconsciously and you make your smoothie or you make your coffee and you do all these things and you go in the office and the first thing you do is you just put in your password and you check your emails and you're doing all this subconscious like second nature for you. And it's because you've trained your mind to do that. The neurons that fire together are going to wire together. And so that is your wiring. But let me tell you something. If you are firing off neurons that you don't want to fire off, there is this amazing concept called neuroplasticity. And what neuroplasticity tells us is that at any moment, we have the ability to change. Our mind literally has the ability to change. And so if you want to make a change in your life, if there's a goal that you're going after that doesn't necessarily align with the current mindset that you have, it's okay because guess what? You can change your mindset. You can change the actions that you are taking. You can change the attitudes and beliefs that you have. You can change the emotions that you are feeling. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about emotions right now because they're so important. When I see clients in totality. When I see people in totality. And so many times when we are thinking about change, we automatically think, oh, let me make sure that the mental and the physical are good, right? That's what we think of when we're thinking about change. There's another aspect of who you are in totality. Of course, there's spirit, but then there's also emotional. And your emotions are so important. And I'm going to say this as well. You need to be smart about your emotions. Why? Because your emotions, right, influence the way that you understand and you respond to people. And so when you are dealing with emotional turmoil, when you are emotionally unclear, it shows up in the way that you may get triggered in a team meeting. It shows up in the way that you yell at your kids, even though you're not that upset with them. And it's because you haven't taken time to check in on your emotions. Emotions in totality. I call our heavy emotions such as anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt exactly what they are. emotions. They are heavy, right? Because if you carry them for too long, over time, they get very heavy and they weigh you down. It's not bad for you to feel anger. It's an emotion. You're supposed to feel it. You're not supposed to carry it, which is something that a lot of people do because they haven't been given the tools to actually release and to get let go that anger. And so you being aware of how emotions feel in your body, you being aware of what it is that you need to do to be able to let go of those emotions in a healthy way, you being aware of what your triggers are, you being aware of the way that you respond to people. You can have all the emotions you want to have. You can think the things that you want to think, but your actions are extremely important. Because let's say you have a lot of frustration going on. You really haven't been having the best couple of months, right? And you get into a meeting and you have somebody on your team who comes in late and you kind of just get triggered and you set off and you kind of go off on them. And everyone in the meeting is like, whoa, wasn't that deep? And then it's like, it wasn't even really about you coming late. But you get in the meeting and then you have to attempt to rebuild trust with that person after you've broken it. And it's all because you weren't emotionally clear. You allowed your emotions to get the best of you. And the person who is able to control their emotions is able to control the situations in their lives. So get smart about your emotions. Your attitudes, your beliefs, your emotions, they all play a part in the way that you understand the world and the way that you respond. Another fun fact about your subconscious, you are taking in so much information at any given moment. 2.3 million bits of information. You consciously can only hold about 5 to 7 chunks. That's why our phone numbers aren't too long. If they were any longer, you probably wouldn't remember it. And so being able to understand that you always have information coming in, and not only do you have information coming in, but you are subconsciously filtering out this information based off the attitudes, beliefs, and emotions that you have towards anything. If you are somebody, using the same example, that doesn't really have any attitude towards people being prompt. You're one of those people, as long as they're in the meeting within 15 minutes, then you're good. Great. That's what you have. You also may be a person that just gives people the benefit of the doubt. If you are a person that believes that if someone comes to the meeting late, that they don't respect your time, those two people are going to act completely different if somebody wants to come in late into a meeting. Person who gives people grace and understands that things happen and is willing to look at and have a conversation with them about the reason why they were late is going to be unfazed, or at least be willing to not allow it to affect the way that they show up in the meeting, while someone else in the meeting can start to display frustration, whether that's them breathing hard or having a sly comment. All those things play a factor, but it's all about your attitudes, your beliefs, and your feelings. And so, what is the action step that you can take around mindset? You are going to identify your current mindset. What are the current attitudes? What are the current beliefs you have? What are the emotions that you are carrying, especially around that area of growth that you have already chosen? Then you are going to name and write out the mindset that you want. What are the attitudes, beliefs, and emotions that you would rather want to experience? Then you are going to release the beliefs and feelings that do not serve you. And then after that, you are going to practice affirmations and confirmations. You have heard me say it multiple times. Affirmations work extremely well when you are confirming them. And so writing affirmations around your mindset and what it is that you want to experience in this life, and then looking for the confirmations and seeing the confirmations when they are happening within your life. Because all it is going to do is reaffirm whatever it is that affirmation was, which is then going to help you in terms of creating and establishing that mindset, right? And going back, that mindset is about beliefs, it's about attitudes. And in those affirmations, you are able to deliberately and purposely create affirmations that align with that mindset. Because let me tell you, if the mindset that you have does not align with the goal that you want, you will not get there. And if you somehow happen to do, no, there's a mind shift. There's a mindset shift that has to happen. If it's not in alignment with your goal, then it's not going to happen. It all starts with the mind. It all starts with alignment. And so you need both. And taking time to really shift that mindset within the next 50 days is absolutely important for you to be able to go after that goal in 2026 in a way that is done with ease, which moves us into step 4, which is act as if. Stop faking it. Fake it till you make it is so last year. It's a scheme set up by Todd because it doesn't actually allow you to show up. Instead, I want you to act as if. I want you to act as if you are already that person. You are already living your best life. I love this little GIF. Right? And the action step that you are going to take is that you're going to get clear on the 2.0 version of you. Who is that version of you that has already accomplished the goal that you set out? What does that version of you look like when you are doing what it is that you said that you were going to do, whether that's in personal development, whether that is in your health, your fitness, your career? What does that version of you look like? I want you to get really clear on who that person is. I want you to get very clear on the beliefs of that person as well. And once you get clear on who that person is, I want you to write out their daily routine. Do they have a morning routine? Do they get up at 5 a.m. or do they just prioritize making sure they get 6 to 8 hours of sleep? Right? Do they practice gratitude every morning? Do they do a weekly check-in or a monthly check-in with themselves to look at what they are doing with their goals? How do they carry themselves? Do they go to bed at 10 o'clock at night without doom scrolling? Do they pitch and continue to pitch because they know that they have a solution that other people need? What is it that they do day in and day out? How do they speak to themselves? How do they carry themselves? And I want you to act as if you are that person right now. And it's not only about you acting as them, it's also you making decisions as them as well. When there's an opportunity for you to make a decision, I want you to think to yourself, what does the 2.0 version of me do? Right? Especially if you're on the health and fitness train. If you are somebody who's like, I want to be healthier, I want to get into the fitness. Okay, there's a lot of different things that can look like, but let's just say that you want to start exercising and you decide you're going to exercise. Okay, if you're that 2.0 version of yourself right now, what do? They exercise on the days that they even don't feel like it. They show up, they get a coach. What does their life look like and what actions do they take and how do they make those decisions? If you're somebody who you're saying to yourself, I would love to be up for the promotion at work. I want to step into that next level. Well, then you are going to have to, right, work on that visibility piece. You can no longer be afraid of being seen. You can no longer be afraid of stepping on toes. You can no longer allow yourself to just be nice. You need to be respected. You need to hold your boundaries. You need to speak up during meetings. You need to take charge if there's an opportunity. If you're a person right now and you're saying, I'm ready to step into the next level of my business. Well, what does that look like? And where do you need to invest to make it happen? There's all these different steps and decisions that you can make right now as a 2.0 version of you that will then help support the 2.0 version of you. right? It's literally about you making that version of yourself, that version of you tomorrow proud today by taking the steps that you need to take to help create and manifest the reality that you all want. Intention plus action. And so this is where the intention piece comes in. It's a little bit of action as well, right here, but it's intention plus action. And so there are two paths that you can take. There is the hard path, and then there's the path of ease. That hard path is when you decide to do everything solo. The path of ease is using a system. The path of ease is using information and knowledge that has been tried and true and proven so that you are actually able to go after your goals. I know that there are going to be mental blocks that come up as you are closing the gap and doing the inner work. There are limiting beliefs that are going to come up. There are limiting beliefs that are going to come up, and you are going to need to dismantle them. It's not simply, oh, let's reframe. It's, oh no, I need to do the work. And so, with you doing the work, you need to be able to actually be honest about what path that you want to take. The hard path is you doing it alone. The path of ease is doing it with a system, doing it with a tried and true proven method. Like like the African proverb says, you want to go far, go alone. Even though in this case, I'm not sure how far you're going to get. If you want to go fast. And if you want to go far, then go together. That is a proverb. That literally was a proverb that I've used for everything. And so that's why I have the Raise the Bar course. For those of you who are just going to use the action steps that I've given you, have at it, right? For you who are ready to go deeper and to really work on your beliefs, which you understand is going to impact your actions, which will impact the results that you are going to get, then this course is for you. I've created it in mind about dismantling those beliefs that are holding you back. And so within the course, you get access to 5 modules that really cover mindset and subconscious programming. You also will have access to different subconscious programming audios, including hypnotherapy. And then you'll also be able to go through the 5-step formula to break down limiting beliefs that I have. I'm going to drop the link below. You'll have access to it. The course right now is $97, but if you use the code LIVE, you're going to get $30 off. So that is available to you. We are about to get into some questions, but I did want to give people the opportunity who are absolutely ready to take action as well as get past those mental blocks, the opportunity to do so. So that is the Raise the Bar class, and we are going to go ahead and jump into questions that have come up. And let me check to see if there are any questions within the chat. We have so many different platforms running right now. So I am going to look at questions from YouTube, from that were sent in, from TikTok. There's just so much. But that just shows you that you can reach people differently, in different spaces and different areas, whatever piece of the internet that you are on. So let's see some questions that were sent in. This is a really good one. I like this question, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. What role does forgiveness play in creating change? Forgiveness is very important. Forgiveness plays a huge part, especially forgiveness as an emotion, right? To be able to forgive yourself, to let go of the guilt, and then also not only forgiving yourself, but possibly also forgiving others. And so when you are carrying whatever situation that happened, right? When you continue to carry it, it continues to weigh you down. Forgiveness plays such an important role in being able to let go of whatever may be weighing you down so that you are able to have emotional clarity in terms of being able to be clear on your vision, to be clear on what it is that you want to go after, to be clear on what your next steps are. Because not forgiving, right? Carrying whatever happened to you can literally be stopping you from being able to take the action that you are supposed to take. It can stop you from seeing a solution that is around you. For example, if there is somebody who was once hurt by a friend in the past, so they now are very guarded when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendships, which causes them to not fully show up when they are in community, or it causes them to be hesitant around community, even though there is a community that truly wants to support them. And so it's you cheating yourself out of the opportunity to truly be in community with people who want to support you, to be in community with people who want to love you, to be in community with people who you need, right? And who you can truly get value from within that community or within that relationship. But because you've been burned before, you don't even open yourself up to it. And so that's what I mean as those are the mental blocks or also the emotional blocks that can play on the actions that you take because of a past experience. Let's see what else we have. Okay, this is a good one. How do childhood experiences affect my mindset? Childhood experiences, the biggest effect, right? So from 0 to 7, we are like sponges. We are taking in the world around us. And that is really where we get our core beliefs. Our parents play a large part in influencing the way that we think about the world. The systems that we grow up in play a large part. What we see on TV, the media, radio, TikTok now, right? The social media age, it plays a large part in the way that we think. For example, if you are someone who was expected by your parents to always get a 100, or you always needed to get an A, and anytime you brought maybe a B home or something that wasn't a high A, and they asked you, well, you could have done better or why you didn't do better, instead of just being praised and knowing that doing your best was enough, you feel the need, right, to then go and be perfect. And that perfectionism, that need to be perfect, that need to get the 100 or to get the A follows you into adulthood if you never stop and really check in on that belief and ask yourself where it came from. Because the need to be perfect doesn't come from you, it comes from your parents. From whatever reason or belief that they came up with the need to be perfect. And so perfectionism, right? It really robs you of being able to take action. And it's in the action that you are able to see what you need to do more of, what you need to do less of, where you can change what works, what doesn't work. And so definitely understand that your childhood beliefs have done nothing but follow you into adulthood. And until you stop and really take a look at those beliefs and see if they are limiting you or if they are empowering you to be limitless, they will continue to run. And it is truly up to you to look at those beliefs and say, hey, this isn't serving me. Even if the belief, right, was a belief that was intended to help you be better, if it was a belief that was intended for protection. I talk about, and I talk about it within the course, I talk about generational beliefs, limiting generational beliefs. I was someone who was taught as a young child that I would need to work twice as hard to get half. This is something that other people have also experienced. And so when you think about that belief, and if it continues to play in your mind over and over and over again, it is showing me, right, that the expectation that I have is that I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work very hard. I'm going to work twice as hard as another person. And I'm only going to expect to get half. And what you get in life is not what you want. You get in life what you expect. And so if I expect half, if I expect less, then that's exactly what I am going to get. And let me tell you something. I would rather expect more. I would rather put in the work and be willing to have the conversations to get more and at least try and attempt than to sit there and cheat myself and say, even though I'm doing extra, even though I'm doing more, even though I'm doing twice, I'm only going to expect to get half. No, 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 no. I want the full course. I want the full meal. Simple. That's what I want. And that's what I am also expecting. Another reason I am not fond of that belief that I had to release is that it's very othering. I understand that it's a belief that comes out of protection. I understand exactly where the belief comes from. And I'm here to tell you that belief, very othering. And I am no longer the other. I am the main. And I know, right, from playing golf, that's probably one of the biggest lessons that I've taken from playing golf since childhood is that you're playing the course. You're playing yourself. Everything that I did within playing the course and playing myself was just to shoot better than what I shot. And so that's the way that I look at life now. I'm no longer interested in the moving goalpost. You can have it. There are some people who are still interested in it. Power to them if that's what they believe is it's helping them. But I have seen firsthand how it can be so limiting. And so that's a limiting generational belief that stops with me and will no longer be passed on. Not in this line. And so I think that was a really great there. Okay, we are hitting the next hour, so I'll do one more question and then you all can, of course, rewatch so that you are able to get the action steps. If you would like to do the course, definitely make sure that you use the code live here so that you are able to get your $30 off. So we're going to do one more question. I realize now that I should have just, let's see. Mm, this one is really good. How do I figure out what I really want in life? This goes back to you being able to sit in the stillness and to let go of the conditioning and let go of the approval and what you believe is acceptable in the world, to let go what was accepted by your parents or was accepted by society, and truly just sit with yourself and ask yourself what it is that I want. I believe that our gifts are antennas and they are signals to allow us to be mindful about where we are supposed to serve and how we can use our gifts to serve. And so that is the biggest thing is just taking time to sit still and continuing to ask yourself the question, what do I really want? And if you are a person where you're looking and you're saying, I'm not even sure, another place that you can start is by asking yourself, what don't I want? And making a list of all the things that you don't want to experience, that you don't want specifically within that area of growth. Because when you're able to really hone in on what it is that you're talking about, that is when you are able to say, okay, this is what I need to work on, or this is where we can start. And so looking at what it is that you don't want, and then being able to say, well, what is the opposite of this don't? And make it a want and look at it and make sure that it's aligning. But it's just a great way for you to get out your own mind of don't and into want. So those are the questions. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. I hope you all enjoyed this time. I definitely enjoyed being able to chat and all of the things. And like I said, if you are interested in the course, make sure that you use the code LIVE so that you are actually able to get the $30 off.